Welcome back to the channel, lads and ladies, and welcome to another episode of Earth Defense Force 4.1. Now, I think this game has been criminally under-noticed by the public. If you've ever played that old game, Jetpack Gemini, this is a lot like that. And there were a few games, excuse me, still got a little death in my chest from the Black Plague. There were a few games that I played as a kid that remind me of this game. Oddly enough, the style of it, especially with the shooting and moving, reminds me a bit of one of my very favorite arcade games, and it was called... Oh geez, I can't remember the name of it right now, but I I actually bought an Xbox just so that I could play the Xbox version of the game, and man, I wish I could remember the name of it. It also reminds me a bit of an old Super NES game called Metal Warriors, especially once you hop into a mech. But if you're not familiar with any of those games, this is Starship Troopers the anime. And I am basically like an aerial trooper, this jetpack wielding Animu girl, and I have energy-based weapons. Today I'm rocking the Dyna Blaster, which is like a rapid-fire plasma shotgun at this point, and it drains the energy bar on my right, which is also what I use for my jetpack flight. So, the main advantage of this class is its mobility and the great amount of sustained firepower you're able to maintain if you set up your weapons right. You can have quite a bit of personal firepower at your disposal, and the mobility really is one of those things that once you've played a mobile character, it really hurts to go back to anybody else. So as we clear this initial tunnel, feeling a bit lonely here. I just came out of a mission that was the largest scale battle I've seen in the game yet, and I'd love to show that to you guys. It's really astounding, but I had this match, and I had so much fun, and it really captured that Starship Troopers feel of being in over your head, put by command into this situation where you have to do ridiculous heroics just in order to survive. And you come out, well, traumatized. but every breath feels that much more delicious when you've come so close to a chitinous, gruesome fate of being torn apart by giant ant mandibles, or melted by their acid, or both. But before the alien queen can lay her egg sacs in my rotting corpse, I'm gonna pull off some heroics here. Sorry if I'm traumatizing you guys. And I just realized that this is a dead end. It's one of those dead end enemy spawners that you'll find in so many different games. And Earth Defense Force is a level-based, almost like a sandbox third-person shooter. You have quite a bit of latitude in most matches to determine how you're going to complete the mission, basically who you're going to kill first. Because you basically just show up and kill everything that's red, just like it's World War III. And here we are clearing the hallway. The matches in this game are intense. You never know what you're going to see next. You're always outnumbered, you're always close to being overrun, and at this point, with these confined tunnels, everything feels sort of manageable. I mean, the scale and number of the enemies is still ridiculous, but with my Dyna Blaster, clearing this hallway is no big deal. And I'm playing pretty carefully here because this is my first time playing through this mission. You never know what you're gonna get. And if you look at the top left, I have around 300 armor, which is basically health. And you see me picking up these red armor boxes. They're actually more along the lines of XP. Every certain number of armor boxes increases your maximum armor by 1 point. so always good to pick those up. I'm also on the lookout for green weapon crates, and if I do take some damage, the white health packs will be my best friend, and I'm going to take plenty of damage coming up here. And I noticed some friendlies off to my left, and again, to get into the feel of this game, you feel really isolated, and it can be a little bit nerve-wracking. And listen to what these guys are saying. They're chattering all the time, and it's hilarious. A lot of the things they say are like stock quotes, but for certain missions, they'll give you exposition. They'll give you background on what's going on. Not that you need. I mean, you can guess. You're basically in every Godzilla movie. You're in Starship Troopers. You're in the thick of the alien menace. So, speaking of, it sounds like the tank baby is waking up, so I'm going to go fetch her. I'll be back in just a second. Say hi, Guppy. Say hi. Can you say hi to the people? Say hi. Say hi. Okay, let's get back to the task at hand. So, our mission in this assignment, or our assignment for this mission, yeah, let's go with that. Our assignment for this mission is to locate the location of the enemy hive, which contains the enemy giant ant queen. Now, just like you, I'm sure, I'm not really looking forward to confronting a bunch of giant ants, but that's why I get paid minimum wage to lug a plasma rifle around these tunnels, so that's what I'm gonna do. Yeah. So, hold on a second. Oh man, I've been getting so many spam calls. Somebody sold my phone number. Okay. Now, the downside to having a handful of allies is you kind of feel bad if you shoot them in the back of the head, and the allied AI is good as far as being aggressive and heading toward the objective, which is refreshing. And here I am switching to my secondary gun, which does not use my power reserves until I need to recharge it, so it's sort of a good way to continue to deal damage in a pinch, where you see that my energy reserves on the right go down quite rapidly if I continue to full auto with my plasma shotgun. Which, by the way, is just an awesome thing to say. Full auto plasma shotgun, yes. Now, talking about the allied AI, besides the fact that they're hilarious and they constantly talk in anime tropes all the time. Like there's this guy who's like, after this battle, I'm gonna get married. And then his buddy's like, don't go around saying stuff like that. Saying things like, after this battle, I'm gonna get married. It's a great way to get yourself killed. and almost without exception, when you're on these missions where you have a single squad backing you up, everybody in your backup squad is gonna die. And sometimes it'll be because they run in front of your bullets, because that's one of the things they do. They're not real bright. God bless them. You know, I mean, who would be smart to go into these tunnels instead of just, you know, dumping as much napalm as you possibly could into them? But you know, don't pay attention to that. This is anime. Your tactical weapons are useless. But these squads almost always end up getting wiped out, and it reminds me of Halo 1, where you're facing the Flood and you're fighting the Covenant, and you land on the ring, and you start out, you know, as a beachhead force, and there's allies all around you, and you know, people dropping in via dropships, and then by the end of the game, one by one, all of your allies have been wiped out, and you stand alone against the alien menace. And this mission perfectly captures that, and a lot of the missions in this game feel that way. The AI, very aggressive, ally AI, and sometimes they run right in front of your bullets and take some hits, and then you're just like, oh, sorry. And I'm starting to learn to shoot over their heads, because the enemies are quite larger than my allies, so that makes that tactic a bit more viable. And to distract immediately from what I was talking about, the game engine that this runs on is based on the CryEngine. So it's got a good solid 3D rendering. Yeah, hi. And basically what that means is nothing really feels blocky. The hitboxes in this game are very, very fine-tuned. They're great. You can shoot at some massive structure, like these big lanky robots that we're sure to encounter later on in this series. And when you miss by just an inch, you miss. And it's just hard to describe how good that feels to have such precise hitboxes in this game. Now, having said that, when you take down an enemy, their carapace persists for some time, so they can block your shots, and you get that feeling of just having a battlefield or a hallway that's choked with the dead corpses of these alien bug attackers. And you're always fighting robots or bugs, so there's no need to feel bad about slaughtering your enemies. And Guppy is really trying to take over the mouse right now, so I apologize if her little cries of consternation are a bit annoying to you guys. I hear her. She's been getting really bossy lately. Very bossy girl. She always expects to get things just her way. And she always explains things to me more carefully when I don't follow instructions. Yeah, you want the egg? Boop! Go with that. What is that? She loves Easter eggs. Okay, where are we at this point? Speaking of Easter eggs, there's quite a bit of references in this game to other sci-fi, especially, as I said, things like Starship Troopers and anime, and other video games, and I find that quite a lot of fun. I greatly enjoyed a game called Armored Core. I think I played it mostly on the PS3. But Armored Core, made by From Software, very challenging game. You're almost always outnumbered, and you really have to set up your weapons and equipment in an appropriate way for each mission, or you'll find yourself in over your head quite rapidly, and the game is very unforgiving. Now, this game is a bit more arcadey, but it has that same kind of feel. If you don't have the appropriate loadout when you start the mission, things can get hairy really fast. And if you're looking at the little radar mini-map on the top right, you can tell that things are about to get quite challenging for me in a moment. Squad, I love you guys. It's been great serving with you. You're probably all gonna die. And with that, I'll leave you to just experience these next few moments as they are in the game.
Nothing to thank you for. I was fine by myself. Somebody!
Oh, and like I said, we are a squishy character, and now we're in the thick of it. We're surrounded by enemies, and one more hit, and we will die. We need health. Pick up a little bit. That's a good start. Okay, let's get back into the action. Oh, we've survived. Mission cleared. Guys, thanks for sitting through me with this one. I hope to put a lot more videos of this game on the channel. It's been an absolute blast to play. It's a really great way to just de-stress and kill some bugs and even more things. And it's still a bit challenging. Anyway, guys, catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.
To save our Mother Earth from any alien attack. From vicious giant insects who have once again come back. We'll unleash all our forces, we won't cut them any slack. The EDF deploys. Our soldiers are prepared for any alien threats. The Navy launches ships, the Air Force sends their jets, and nothing can withstand our fixed bayonets. The EDF deploys.